Hi, I'm Rand English, and this is my video diary. I entered this class very enthusiastically. I had read some Chaucer in a sophomore English class and was excited to learn more about him and his work. In my sophomore English class, we studied the Canterbury Tales briefly. We studied the prologue, the Knight's Tale, Life of Bath's Tale. I believe it was the Friar's Tale as well. Um, However, in that English class, it, we really didn't have freedom to interpret the literature like we did in this class. Um, all the tests were multiple choice, no short answers. We were given a literary analysis essay, but the topic was chosen for us. We didn't get to choose our own topic. So I really enjoyed the freedom of interpretation that this class allowed me to have. And I really appreciated the greater detail we went into with the Canterbury Tales, Chaucer's life, and his other literary work. I definitely have gained a different perspective for certain characters in the Canterbury Tales than I had initially. This class really helped me to either gain a more appreciation for certain characters, or it really kind of completely changed my perspectives on certain characters. Well, like with the narrator, I definitely have a greater appreciation for him as a character. Before, when I read the Canterbury Tales, I didn't even see him as a character. He was not important in my mind, I guess, when I had read Canterbury Tales before, so I didn't pay attention to him. But after reading some of the extra literature that we had and listening to the video lectures, I kind of started to pay attention this time around to the narrator and really got to see more of who he was because I felt like he was a character. And so the narrator and Chaucer are kind of the same person, I guess, is what I took from it. And so it reminded me a lot of Stephen King because when you see a Stephen King film, he's always playing a character in the movie. And it's usually a minor role, but he's still in there. And it's like, oh wow, there's Stephen King. And I feel like this was Chaucer's way of putting himself in a role in his stories. So I really appreciated that a lot more. Another character that I learned to appreciate more was the prioress. Before I didn't even understand her story or her character, and didn't have the opportunity, I guess, to look further into the meaning of her story. But after reading the extra literature on the anti-Semitism that existed in the Middle Ages, it really kind of put the story in perspective for me. And I went, oh, okay, this makes sense now. I understand, why Chaucer put this in his story. And I felt like his reason was to kind of not necessarily right a wrong, but definitely bring an issue to light, the issue of the bigotry that existed against the Jews. I think that Chaucer does this a lot. He doesn't necessarily speak out against um, the wrongdoings of his society, but he definitely brings it to people's attention and makes them take a second look at what they're doing and go, maybe this isn't right. And he does it with the corruption of the clergy in the Canterbury Tales as well. We see a lot of that in the Friar, and I think that's what he was doing with the Prioress, was kind of bringing to light the bigotry that existed. And the wife of Bath is another character that I have a better appreciation and also a different perspective after this class. Like most people that read Wife of Bath, I initially viewed her as this extreme feminist uh, who was all about, women's rights and women's power. But after reading more of literature on the feminists in the Middle Ages, like Christine de Pizan, I know I'm saying her name wrong. I really don't see the wife of Bath as a feminist character anymore. In fact, I think that she is the epitome of the misogynistic female character. And I think that her attitudes and behaviors, her deception of her husbands, her manipulation of men, the way that she kind of teaches women to get what you want, you have to be shady and tricky and manipulative. I think that that is the misogynistic view of Wicked Woman, and I don't think that she did anything to progress the feminist movement away from that idea. I think that she defined Wicked Woman, and so definitely have a new perspective on her. That's not to say that I dislike her. Um, any, I absolutely love her character and her story still. I think that it's one of the better tales in the Canterbury Tales. Um, I learned a lot about Middle English before. I didn't even know it existed. I guess that's naive of me, but I had no idea. Um, when I first saw that our reading would be in Middle English, I was mortified and equally excited. I was very eager to learn Middle English, and I thought that I had a pretty good grasp on how to read it. I had listened to YouTube readings. I had read all the literature on pronunciation, and when I saw my grade for the Middle English recitation, I went, "Oh, maybe, maybe I don't understand it as well as I thought I did." And it definitely has to sound way better in my head than it does when I'm reading it out loud. So even though I am terrible at pronouncing Middle English, I definitely appreciated getting the opportunity to read these stories in Middle English. Um, it gave me more respect for Chaucer as an author, and it definitely helped me because I didn't understand it the first time I read it through. I'd have to get a few passages in and go, okay, I have to go back and reread this again because I want to be able to understand it in Middle English, and that definitely helped me understand um, the 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 modern English translation more because I'd read it so many times in Middle English that when I finally read it in modern English, it was like, oh, okay, this makes more sense. So I guess having to read the Middle English over and over and over again really helped me understand the story a lot better. So I appreciated the Middle English as hard as it was. I really did enjoy it. Um, Troller Sin Crusade I had never heard of before. I didn't at first like it at all. It grew on me though, and I think that I really kind of related more to Trollocs than I did Cressida. I think anybody who's ever been heartbroken would relate to Trollocs a little bit more, and I really kind of fell in love with his character and was really rooting for him to be okay, even though I really knew, that he was gonna end up alone. I guess you just kind of got that feeling, especially after Cressida took off with um Diomed, maybe? Diomed? I'm not sure how you say his name. Um, but I I feel like this was Chaucer's hope for the heartbroken tale, and he states in his intro Los Cressida that there's a greater love than the earthly love, and I think that was Chaucer's way of saying, hang in there, heartbroken. That it gets better, and there's a love that exists that means way more than the love, the pain that you feel for your love right now. Um, I think that Chaucer was wise beyond his years. I think that he saw a lot of things being played out, and I think that he was kind of a revolutionary, especially after reading the Parliament of Fowls. I really feel like Chaucer saw that the Middle Ages was just a transition period, I guess, from the Dark Ages into the Renaissance era. I think that Chaucer had a feeling that things were going to change soon. And I think that Parliament of Fowls, as much as it is about love and feminine choices, I think that was his story to the world of, hey, the society that we know and the way that this society operates, you know, in this patriarchal society is going to change, and that females are going to have not only a choice of how their own lives are run, but also how this world is run. And I think that, again, like I said, he was ahead of his time in that, and I think that that is what he was trying to convey through Parliament of Fowls, was that women are going to be bigger players in this game. And so I really, really enjoyed Parliament of Fowls. And I have to say that, again, without those handouts and um, the video lectures, I don't think I would have been able to get a thorough understanding of the literature. The handouts, the Wikipedia entries, the video lectures, they definitely help get different perspectives of the story and characters. And so I feel like I came away with a well-rounded perspective of the stories and a deeper understanding, because I got to see it from so many different points of view, and then add my own point of view into it, and it just, the video lectures kind of tied it all together and really helped gain a deeper understanding of the story. So I have to say that that was probably the most helpful thing in the class, were the extra essays that we read about the different characters and the different stories, and also the video lectures that tied it all together. Because getting all those perspectives was really amazing and helped not only understand the stories, but again, helped me to take a step back and appreciate a deeper meaning within the text. So thank you. I really enjoyed this class. I don't think that there was anything that I didn't like about this class. I hope that you enjoyed teaching it as much as I enjoyed taking it, and I hope that you have a great rest of the year.